Yay! Let's see if we can get some people back in here. I thought the other one would have come back up. No, it didn't. That's High Heart. High Heart slapped that. I kind of suspected they would do that. You know, I suspected they would do that pretty much. Let's see if we can get the other folks in here. I suspected they would do that, and they did. Very, very. No, the video. We're reacting to, they're very, they have low tolerance. All those major corporations, like if you're reacting to videos from VH1, MTV, Viacom, High Art, oh yeah, there was, yeah, eventually. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure I come back. I put some necessary finishing to the conversation. But yeah, they don't like that. Let me see. Yeah, it was basically semantics. She got stuck on semantics. Does it depend on what hits the video? Sometimes if people just delete or pull the video down, the stream come back up. No, the stream literally disappeared. Let me even see. Let me see here, because it's still, yeah, the stream literally disappeared completely. That's what happens. Let me use I'm just gonna try to, let me see here. If you guys wanna, I'm just gonna drop the link just in case you guys want to come up really quickly before I round it off for today. We do have another session later on. We have another session at 10:30 p.m. So don't miss that. Don't miss that. We have another session. I think I'm covering about 5 different, maybe 3 different topics or so. Yeah, I had to come back. I couldn't leave you guys hanging. I had to come back. But I want to leave some last words that will stay on, that are, basically my thoughts, my overall thoughts about the whole thing. I want to at least leave that way, that stays up. Let me just see here. Just okay. Very, very important that I do that, because this has become a major conversation and everybody is capping. Everyone, they're all capping big time. They're all capping. That's the honest truth. She wasn't capping. I think she asked a very good question. I think it was a very, very good question that she asked. And around the masculinity, masculine energy, all of that, right? I think it was a very, very good question that she asked. I think the response that Inyala gave her, I think the response is I think the first question was a good question, like to understand context, where you coming from. Would you date the bus driver, right? I think when she said that's a problem, I think I disagree with that. And I generally, wait, I see the video. Is the video up? This is weird. If the video is up right now, this is just weird. Let me see here. I know the video ended. The video is actually up. That's weird. The video is up, but he ended the stream. But it's good. We'll make this part 2. right? Or part 3 of some sort. So I think the answer that that's a problem. No, I don't think that's a problem. But that's a problem thing. That's something that a lot of people were looking to. They were looking for that. It's like they were looking to, like, oh yes, there's a woman that agreed with me. I'm like, just because a woman agreed with you doesn't mean you're right. Okay, it doesn't mean that your thoughts are in the right place. I'm talking about gentlemen now. Gentlemen, if a woman agrees with you, it doesn't mean you're right. Okay, it's the same thing too. If a man agrees with you, which is oftentimes, it doesn't mean you're right too, right? What makes it right is what makes it right. It's just right. It creates outcome that's better than the present status. That's what will make it right, if you want to worry about right at all. But I'll say this, right? But now that she's seen all the responses coming from all over, people were shaming her, even to the point of trying to wish deletion upon her. Yeah. So I can understand why she's overreacting and she's hyperventilating on that seat, and just I understand, I understand, but it doesn't solve any of the problems. Yeah, it doesn't solve our problem. I'm not gonna play it again. I'm done. I just want to put it on the screen so we can know what we're talking about. Right? It doesn't solve her problems. She's overreacting. She's doing a lot of explanation. She doesn't need to explain when she wasn't wrong in the first place. Right? We have, the modern men are very quick to say these days, we have preference too. It's like, yes, good. There's nothing wrong with that. Why is it that you're having a hard time agreeing with yourself that it's okay to have preferences? Sounds like you're about to be defensive. Sounds like you don't believe you should have preferences. No, it's absolutely okay to have preferences. And it's called preferences for a reason. Because it's not necessarily going to be reality. Because you can't see that far anyway. So it's very, very important to just pay attention to that. Preferences are fine. Having a choice is fine. But understand that your preferences have consequences. Okay? Understand that your preferences is, it's also, you're part of a social construct. You're part of a society. People are going to prejudge, judge you, have opinions. That's the reality. They're going to have opinions about your choices, your preferences, how they perceive you. Perception becomes reality in so many ways. It's just what it is. It's just what it is. So I don't think she's now basically, just before that stream ended, she was now basically just she's just explaining herself, arguing about semantics, pulling out dictionaries, when people pull out dictionaries, I'm like, okay, sure. I don't know what that has to do with how people feel. What does that have to do with how you feel right now? Let's be honest. Were you really arguing about the dictionary meaning, or you're feeling some type of way right now? Right? It's obvious that she didn't like the fact that she's being accused. I'm not going to play it. I'm just going to look at I'm just going to skim through the caption. Rhetorically not any different than me saying an average mediocre. She's arguing words. Those words can be weaponized. It's like the word basic. That's true. Somebody else is talking now. Words can be weaponized because the people that are using it knows that it makes you feel some type of way. They know that. And we're not going to cap about that. Right? My wife and I were debating about the word aggressive earlier. It depends on what you're using it for, right? It just depends. And more importantly, who is interpreting it? Because if you're talking to somebody, either you're talking at or you're talking to them, clearly you care about the message landing. Well, they have the power of interpreting what you're saying. You don't get to say, well, the way you interpret it is wrong. Well, you can say that, but what does that make you? Because really, you should be making sure they understand where you're coming from. That's what communication means, communication is not just talking. Communication is not good enough because you're using the right words with the right meaning from Webster. That's not good enough. Okay? There's negative connotation. That's a fact on any one of those words. So she wasn't helping by pulling out the dictionary. She was actively discounting how the people felt. Are the people overreacting to it? I think so. But she's not helping. I would just hope that she just let me handle those and no, because I actually did the first part already where I said, you're overreacting to what she said. She had preferences. Why is that anybody's headache? But then she's not helping. She quote unquote doubled down, but she's not double down. She's doubling down. She is basically demonstrating what they accused her of. This is why you're not married. This is why you're all those people shaming her, she's confirming it and proving them right. Just look at the facial expressions. Piece of paper makes you a more valuable individual. It's true. Where I was trying to go and vacation with him, sir. Provision and protection, I think, is what the real question is. Yeah, I don't know if there was maybe, since that one is live, maybe I can still play it in the background without showing the pictures. And then pause it. Let's try that. How is that? Let me know if you guys can still hear it.
And shit, we all make 7 figures. Maybe I'm on the lower end of this as a mediocre person.
Can you guys still hear that? Can you guys still hear that? Let me know if you can still hear that. Her preference isn't even part of the convo anymore. Yeah. All right, good. Let me just listen. Let me not show the picture. Let's see if we can finish it.
It's like,
you don't know what I make. I don't make that kind of money.
why are you lying?
He probably makes 8.
Listen, you couldn't tell him about
But Weezy, did you hear my story about my mother? Weezy, she doesn't have a college degree. My grandfather didn't, but she never did it.
It doesn't matter.
You have to do something.
And the people listening feel like they're not. By your
I just want people to stand on it. I want people to stand on it. If you are a person, and we're talking about Black America, and you feel as if you have maxed out your skill set, whether it's in the classroom or when you wake up in the morning and do whatever it is that you do, then God bless you, and I support and love you. I am talking to Black people.
She's just talking to Black people. Just Black people. Wahala.
That I know have a potential skill set that is untapped. So that's the difference between mediocre and exceptional.
She's doing exactly what I see people do in these YouTube spaces. They act like they care, but they don't care. She just has a need to be right. She's trying to prove a point that wasn't originally made. This wasn't about Black people. It's about you. She's still doubling, tripling down on nothing.
Not the piece of paper, not even the income. It's, are you complicit and complacent in what you are doing currently, or are you willing?
What is she talking about? Complacent. Who are you talking about? Just all of Black race? That is always, anytime you generalize, it's always going to be wrong by default. The best way to have this conversation is to stay stuck on your personal story. Since you brought that up, since it was brought up by the person you invited, right? And that conversation could have ended, go viral, without necessarily pushing it to become about the Black race. This is not about the Black race.
To go above and beyond and do the thing that most people won't do. By definition, Weezy, that's where
above
exception
and beyond
lies.
could be the nurse that drives Uber on the side. I think that's why
Look, my father was a military. He was a mechanic. He was a bus driver. He was a police officer.
So he was exceptional. Your father was exceptional.
My mother worked at Guardian Life Insurance. I'm the first person in my family to go to college, first person to graduate from college, and my parents put me through college. So I don't look at them as mediocre. I don't look at them as average. They are exceptional, and they did what they did to get their kids through all this stuff.
What you said is so different than what I'm talking about.
I am the same with them, and I am the same.
That is just not intellectually.
This is what they do.
The same with them, and I am the same.
I hear a lot of smart, intelligent people use that phrase. That's not intellectually honest. I hear a lot of smart people use that phrase. Okay. I hear them use it a lot. Bumi. Bolatu Jasio.
You think say they wise?
Imbolatu Jasio. You prefer Denzel Washington, but you have your husband. I bet your husband is better than Denzel Washington. I bet you don't want to find out. Oh, God. Unfortunately, she feels she has to defend the standards, and now it's a whole spiral. Yes, if you have standards, here's my word for you, okay? There is such a thing as unrealistic expectations, okay? But if you have standards, they are called standards for a reason, okay? They're called standards. Maybe standards, some kind of guide or something like that. It can translate, it can easily, in this world we're in, it can translate to unrealistic expectations, okay? But I wouldn't prejudge that until you're actually in a space where you feel like, okay, maybe I'm judging people too quick, I'm dismissing them too quick, I have low tolerance. You know, I wouldn't really worry about that until you notice that, or somebody tells you, if a few people tell you that that's what's happening, you might want to pay attention to that. So it can translate to unrealistic expectations, just to be clear on that, right? But they're called standards for preferences for a reason, Sha. It's not that deep. It's just preferences, okay? It's just not that deep.
Intellectually honest,
and the
what you're
difference
doing.
is what you said is, oh, you want to encourage and you want to do this. I do the same thing without putting people down.
I'm not putting people down. I'm being very honest.
I think you are, and
Envy.
people have been saying, I don't think you're listening. Like, as
She's
much
not
as you
listening.
talk, you're not listening to what people
Oh,
are
I'm
saying.
listening. I'm
You're
not bothered by that, though.
You're not.
She's not listening. But hurt people. No one was listening to her. She never said anything about black men. She was just talking about preference. So now she's overreacting because she is caught up. She's emotionally caught up in the mess. Yep. You have missed. It's still up. Thank God it's still up. The part 1 is up there. For some reason, they turned it off while I was in the middle of the stream. That was weird. I don't know why they did that. Yeah, they turned it off. Let me see. I think I see that is demonetized. Let me just take a look. Let me see. Is it just demonetized or no? It's monetized. It's actually active. That was weird. But I'm glad it's up. It's 2.5 hours of content up there. I'm glad that's up right there. Let's see here. Let me turn this monetization on. There you go. Perfect. Part 3. All right. So part 3. We're still going. I feel like everybody came back. Did everybody come back? Cool. Even more people. Bumi was not the first one. Good to see you though, Bumi. Can my grandmother get a birthday shout out? Please, she's 99 today. Her name is Dixon Sider. Shout out to Miss Dixon Sider. 99 years old is nobody's mate. That's God bless her. God bless her. Absolutely. God bless her. Paul Travis is listening from Facebook. So you guys may not see that comment. Shout out to Facebook. Facebook never want to give us shine. But if you can go ahead and just share the screen, the stream. if you share the screen, that would be nice, Per. Thank you so much for sharing. We're trying to wake up the algorithm of Facebook, but it's a struggle. And if you know how to do it, let me know too. It's like if a person stops play the content, the video normally resumes. Oh, really? Well, I waited a little bit and nothing then. But yes, happy birthday to your grandmother. Let's continue the stream a little bit.
I'm not
Because
going to
people
be
are hurt
shamed.
and they have opinions. Just like
I
you
am
have your
not
opinion, you can't talk over people and not let people talk.
But you also interrupting me,
I'm
Envy.
not. I was talking. You keep talking to me. I let you speak, and then I just started talking.
You got it.
I just started talking. I let you speak, and I waited for you to be quiet, and I
Come on,
started
Cheryl.
talking. You heard something that you didn't like, and you cut me off.
Envy,
That's
go
how
ahead.
it just
But
went.
because once you start
No,
being
now it's not-
intellectually
Here
dishonest.
it goes. Now it's not Envy. Go ahead.
Now,
No,
come
that's
on.
exactly what
Let's keep it.
happened.
Let's keep.
Can somebody help? What is intellectually dishonest? What does that even mean? Does that mean I lost the argument? Is that what that means? Somebody please tell me that's what that means. Does that mean I lost the argument? Look at her face. Oh, I can't win. I can't win. This lady, you did nothing wrong. You had a preference. Nothing wrong with preferences. See, this is the problem with people that do shalaye. They don't really believe themselves. They start to question. Imagine that situation, right? There's a lot of women starting to feel that way, right? Imagine that situation where you're like, nah, it was a choice. I'm single at 39. It was a choice. I did what I did. Not everybody's supposed to be married anyway, right? And then you heard like two gentlemen talking about this is the masculine energy is why some people are single. And now that start to tamper with your belief system, right? And somebody asks you if you would date the bus driver, and then she goes and says, well, that's a problem. And now you start to doubt the idea that no, it's okay for me to have preferences. When you start to doubt it, right? You start to doubt that it's okay to have preferences. Like, you're not wrong. If you doubt that you were wrong, then you engage your emotions. Does that face look like somebody who is logical? Shout out to all the logical people in YouTube land. Does that look like a logical person? Not too far, how you did? Hell, if I know, maybe like feigned ignorance, plain stupid. I think it's plain stupid. But why would you assume that a person you're having a conversation with is plain stupid? Why? Right? You feel like you can get your way, and now you just need to call them some kind of intelligent name so they can stop being plain stupid. How's that working out? Oh, Lord. All right, so I'm gonna have to hide her face when she's talking because of these weary people that are ending the streams. Let me hide her face and they can continue to talk. Hold on 1 second. You see my face when she's talking.
Keep it no, but if I give somebody the platform to speak and I let you speak, then I speak. And you have to listen just like I listen. Just like with Weezy and Mandy, when they speak, I listen. It doesn't matter that we don't agree or disagree. We can have a conversation, but we got to respect each other in this conversation.
I agree.
I think
that part of that respect is being honest.
Yeah, I think
she can't help herself. She can't help herself. These are real behaviors that people do, okay? That people engage in, okay? This still has everything to do with relationships. Yes, it does. Okay? It does. It has everything to do with it. This is how you show up in one way is how you show up in every other way. Right? Combative, argumentative, call them names when they don't agree with you. Right? There's no question, again, I keep saying that, there's no question that this is a very smart lady. Yes, Bumi, in real life, you will be triggered. You know, people are gonna test your emotional intelligence, right? And when you do fail, guess whose fault is it? Yours.
I think the conversation is healthy. If you listen to the whole Ayanla interview, I get a better sense of what you're trying to say. But the doubling down is what threw me completely off.
The doubling down is where she went wrong. She definitely overreacted. She wanted to shame all those people that are shaming her back, and it didn't work out. So anytime you see yourself, you got caught up, and you try to shame people that have shamed you, it doesn't work. Okay, it doesn't work. You know, two wrongs doesn't make it right. You will see that more so when emotions are entangling each other, right? Two wrongs don't make it right. It just doesn't. You're right. The other people may have been offensive, shaming you because you had preferences, which I don't think there's anything wrong with preferences ever, right? I can't say, hey, because you're 39, so you have a preferences, so you're wrong. No, it doesn't make sense. Those are two different conversations.
What do you off about
it did sound like you was shitting on the working class.
I'm not shitting on the working class.
And if you weren't, I think you need to make that very clear.
Well, I've tried to make it clear with 3 different examples. I think y'all don't want to hear it, and that's a
All right, it's everybody else's fault. Just like the people dragging her, it's never her fault. It's everybody else's fault. She's just disrespectful, and I think this slows who she really is when things don't go her way. This shows, yes, this is real. No one is pretending. No one is playing stupid. They show up as who they are, including the playing stupid. Somebody playing stupid, they might just be stupid. You need to treat them like stupid if they are playing stupid, as opposed to like, let me find out what they're doing. No, stay patient and address what they're saying to you, even if you feel they're playing stupid. That takes a lot of patience.
It's okay, Envy. It's okay. Like you said, it's okay to disagree. Okay? So we can argue semantics back, because that's really, at this point, this is an argument around semantics. This is not around intention. This is not around feel.
Is this an argument around semantics, or she made it semantics? Is that the same thing? Is this an argument around semantics, or she made it semantics? I hung up on a panel the other day because it was getting there. No, thank you. Avoid is my coping mechanism for now. Mental health. Right? She made it semantics. She pulled out the dictionary. Jesus Christ.
This, because we talked about the data. We've gone to the dictionary to define the words. Now it is, I heard what you said, but this is how it made me feel.
So what is
That's reality. Welcome to the real world. I heard what you say, but I feel some type of way. I'm about to chop your head off. That's the reality. Oh, let me guess. You want to avoid, you're the one actually fantasizing. You want to avoid reality. Could it work? It cannot work. Right? In fact, the best you're going to do is continue to dig a deeper hole for yourself.
Ebony K. Williams trying to say?
People think learning piano takes a really long time, but that's false. Here's how long it really takes with this new method.
I am saying plainly, Charlemagne, that I believe in maximizing skill sets for Black Americans. I believe in ownership, entrepreneurship, and multiple streams of income.
What does this have to do with anything? Nothing, right? Has nothing to do with nothing. Nothing.
As a way tethered to our liberation as Black people who were brought here in chattel some 19 year. And if that makes you feel a way, maybe it's time to do something about it. That's all. And many people are. So when Envy talks about this example of his father being in law enforcement and being a business owner.
So let's make a little bit of sense. A bunch of Black men started to shame her because they felt shamed because she was belittling people. And now she doubles down on shaming them. For real, for real. All right. I think that's what she was trying to do. She wasn't trying to shame them before. She's just stating facts. But now they're caught up in their feelings. Well, let's make them feel even worse. Well, not intentionally. Let me play stupid like I didn't know what I'm doing. No. Sorry. The other person is playing stupid. Wahala.
And doing 3-4 things on top of that, that is nowhere near mediocrity. That is called exceptionalism. That is called a Black man availing himself to his highest calling and skill set. He talks about his mother and what she did.
So if a person is not an entrepreneur, that person cannot be exceptionalism. Yeah? That person cannot be exceptionalism because they're not being a business owner. Is that what they're saying? Yeah.
That is not mediocrity. By the way, there's nothing wrong with mediocrity. By definition, it's not bad nor good, it's mediocre. It is typical and it is regular. But if you are looking for me, if anybody...
Yeah, again, that's like saying, that's not a compliment, right? You're calling people mediocre. It's not a compliment. Can we all agree to that? I agree with her, dictionary-wise, it's not bad or good, right? But when you're talking to human beings, they're going to feel some type of way. That should be your expectations. So I'm actually conflicted right now. I don't know. Who should I blame? The people that drag her or her because she's doing the same thing they did to her. Maybe I should just leave it alone. Let's just have the conversation.
Everybody is looking for me to put out a permission slip for people that look like me and come from where I come from, which is the diaspora, around average is good enough, medium is okay, just do enough to get by. No, I'm not going to make that soft place for you to land.
Well, to Weezy's question, what is exceptional then?
It's very simple. Y'all keep acting like it's hard. Anything that goes above your minimum skill set.
So if that person was supposed to be McDonald's and they're now driving a bus, is that exceptional? I think that would be based on that definition, right? So now, why wouldn't that be exceptional to certain type of people? Because they get caught up in their feelings, right? So it's subjective still, right? I bet Auntie doesn't want to hear that.
That's it. Whatever that is for you, that might be driving the Uber. Like I said, when my mother was driving the Charlotte Mecklenburg school bus and working for UPS at night and putting herself through beauty school, all in a means to advance her skill set so she could go do finger waves for 7 hours. And then when she realized, okay, I have a skill set on top of that, shout out to finger waves, okay? I don't want to stand on my feet doing finger waves 7 hours a day. I can do something different than that. She opened a child care facility. Then she opened another one, and then she bought tractor trailers, and then she had a fleet of trucks.
Did it bother you then when people brought up salary and money because you had a different point?
Yeah.
No. That was her point. Stop the cap. That was exactly her point, and I'm fine with it. I don't expect a person making $300,000 a year to random willy-nilly because she asked a question admits that she would date a $40,000 per year. I'm guessing bus driver probably makes more than that, but either way, right? But she's capping big time because she's trying to justify BS. Yeah.
Yes, and that's
But
why I
you
said
did
in the
that in the
clapback.
Ayanla interview, though. You brought up salary.
She did.
When you set the conversation, you talked about how
Along
women are
with
making
many
more
other
money than
things,
men,
and
how
ownership.
they're buying houses more than men.
And that's
So
ownership.
you set that table.
Yeah.
No. It was income. She was talking about income. She needs to just stop. Do it.
You think say they wise?
Yeah. She was talking about income. And that's fine, but she doesn't believe that it's fine. That's why she's arguing like this.
Stop the cap.
Yeah, she's struggling.
Yeah, but even
because
what
it's
she's
a
saying too in
separate
terms of salary, she's saying multiple streams of income at the same time.
Yeah.
Which is why, okay, he's a bus driver. Your father did multiple things and owned properties.
No, he didn't do multiple things.
Well,
He
You can't shame people with multiple streams of income. If you want to preach it, sell it. That's fine. You can't be using it to shame people. Ladies, you can't go back home and be using that to shame your husband. Your mates, they have extra income on the side. You just want to sit down and watch football. That's bad behavior. Okay? Do you think she would do something like that in the future if she ends up with a bus driver? With this behavior right now? She would. Just like not everybody's supposed to be married, not everybody's supposed to be entrepreneurs. Everybody's not designed to be that. We need to be okay with what people choose to be as long as they are upstanding people. But no one should be shaming you that you have to do business with them, shao, or you have to marry them. No one should be shaming you either for that, because there's 8 billion people, there's 300 million people in America. That's more than enough for everyone to choose what they like.
He was a mechanic. He only did one thing at one time. He just worked overtime to make sure it was good. He didn't own no properties, nothing. My property was he didn't invest. He doesn't know anything about the stock market. I'm the
That's
first
real
person in my
life. That's a typical average normal human being.
family to
And that's
invest
what
in
you do.
anything.
Okay.
Correct. He doesn't know anything about it. But I would also say that a lot of people in our communities don't have the opportunities that a lot of people do.
And
They don't have
I don't think, Ebony, you're speaking enough to the disadvantages
they
that
don't
black
have
people
they don't
face.
have the
Systemic
advantages
oppression.
that
put us
yeah.
in
They
these.
don't have the
Because that's not what she was trying to say in the first place. She's just trying to push back at all those people trying to shame her into $75,000 a year bus driver. She just came out with her full chest and said, I don't want, is it by force? I don't want a person who makes less than me. It's not a crime in that. That's what she should have just done.
Your
ability
words,
to get
mediocre
jobs.
jobs.
They don't have those abilities. They don't have those abilities that a lot of my white neighbors now have.
In which, to be fair, I went to, shout out to Evans High School in Orlando, Florida, 98% black, especially when I graduated in 2009. We had trades. So like literally it was a nursing program. It was cosmetology school. My mom believed in just going into the healthcare field, and then we had hospitality as another option. we're literally taught these are the jobs that are suitable for you as well at a very young age. I was about to go to be a CPA.
Sure.
I worked at a Big Four, worked at Goldman Sachs, worked at EY. I was unfamiliar that those jobs and opportunities were available to me until I moved to New York City.
Yeah.
Coming from Orlando, I didn't know I could be an accountant or what Wall Street was in finance. And so I do agree to that standpoint that we're not even given the scope of what our opportunities can
Would those
look
jobs
like.
be considered mediocre?
So I'm not even gonna play this.
Look, you just
Mediocre is just a terrible word to use to describe people's job, especially when they are average jobs that average person is doing. It's just a terrible word. I don't care what the meaning says in dictionary. And I think you're lame if you think your dictionary meaning means anything in this conversation.
poking a bear now. Now you just poking.
But let's let Ebony say her last words and get whatever she has to get out without interrupting, because we have to go. We have to cut this up. No, we have to cut it up because it goes on.
Of course.
No, understand. I will say this. To Envy's point of our people not knowing, I agree with you, which is why I am so incensed and I'm so committed to having this conversation. Right now, if y'all, you single family homeowners, if you need a tree cut from your yard, that truck that's gonna cut it down is not cranking for less than $5,000.
That's right.
So we have to talk about those things. And so y'all can get stuck in mediocre and average and the terminology and your hurt feelings if you want to. I suggest you get out of those feelings and you start thinking about HVAC. You start thinking about heating and air. You start thinking about, oh, what would it look like to be an electrician and own my own bed? And again, in ownership, not working for a salary job for somebody else unless that is your maximum skill set. So if you're somebody that says, hey, I don't want to take on the work, or I cannot take on the work of balancing the books.
This has nothing to do with nothing.
You. If you fall short of that, let's
lie today.
What was that?
You are an entertainer.
You are an entertainer.
Because, to be honest with you,
Cap.
nothing you said in this.
Cap. She is an entertainer.
Stop the cap.
Exactly.
Moment was wrong,
Nothing you said was wrong.
but the clip that you put
It was
out,
salacious on purpose.
there's no way, Ebony, because what I believe you. I know you want better for us. I know that you're speaking from a place of honesty
She doesn't believe that.
and love, but that clip was entertainment, and I
Wait,
think
I don't
one
think it was
can't exist without the other.
Listen, I'm not saying I'm not entertaining.
Yeah.
You know, I can see, because of course that's a part of my personality. It's a part of the nature of the work. That's my whole career.
What does this have to do with
Y'all
it?
can take that to the grave.
For them to read, for them to
No,
want.
me too. Your toe still hurts. So I'm not debating intention.
Yeah.
I'm saying it might have been painful, regardless of my intention. And yet, how do we move on from it? Because again, I'm not preoccupied. I'm not going to not say what I believe and feel for the sake of feeling.
Oh, you want to say what you feel. Oh, she wants to say what she feels now suddenly. Yeah. I think you've been saying what you feel all along, but you try to bring dictionary into it.
Feelings.
I want to say, how do you feel about the American dream? And what I mean by that is the American dream is the belief that anyone, regardless of where they were born or what class they were born into, can attain their own version of success in a society which upward mobility is possible for everyone. So all of these jobs that we're talking about, that is those people's version of success.
Yeah.
That is their American dream. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with them
I
having
think you
that?
know the answer. Nothing, Charlemagne.
Okay.
Nothing. Like, come on, now we're talking circularly, to Envy's point. There's nothing wrong with that. I am simply, he said it, there are people that don't know what's possible. There are people that don't know, man.
Okay, so it's all in circles.
Y'all asked me that question, I'd say, well, what do he look like?
Oh, there you go. Let's go back.
Mediocre, typical,
that's what
or
it
telling
is.
them they're stuck in the low expectations.
You know how I know
of
Ebony more
bigotry.
educated than me? If y'all asked me that question, I'd say, well, what do he look like?
Well, okay, that's fine. Yeah. Again, Charlemagne,
I
that's
just don't think
fine.
those are words that should be used to describe the working
And I
class.
think that's
all.
I think per the dictionary,
Acknowledge that.
per the dictionary and per the facts. So
She
again,
can't.
we spent 40 minutes talking about something that's very simple and unfortunate that this is
Obviously, it's not that simple. If you're the only one that thinks it's that simple, it's not that simple. Get it? If you're the only one that thinks it's that simple, it's not that simple.
where we landed, Charlemagne, because we're talking about personal projections around defined words. That's really what this whole, and that's why brother is nodding.
But you can weaponize
we had this
define. You
conversation.
can weaponize
Yeah.
define.
Exactly.
But don't put that on me,
But
because I'm not
whether
weaponizing
you
it.
think you did or not, I told you I think you did.
You did.
You can think whatever you want, Charlemagne.
And a lot of
I
other
know.
people did too.
I don't care what. It could be Jesus Christ thinking it. I know what I said.
Well, if
I
it's
know what
Jesus
I
Christ, you
said.
better listen. If it's Jesus Christ, you better
Well,
listen.
you listen. Listen, but
oh, this woman, she won't admit it. She won't. She spent 40 minutes arguing about words. Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy. This happens every day. You can see this happening every time when people argue and debate about these issues. You see them all over the place, you know, but it's never really about them. Let's just talk in generals.
I do appreciate the broader conversation.
You better listen to Jesus.
That's right.
Yeah,
well,
no,
we thank you for
I appreciate the
for your
platform. I really
conversation.
do. But let's be very careful that we are not so blindsided, stuck, and regressive in our feelings that we're not able to hear clearly the facts and the truth.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Eboni K. Williams.
Listen, what I want to do right about now is I want to go. Let me see. Before I end this, I'm going to end this in 4 minutes. Exactly 4 minutes. I'm going to end this, okay? And I don't think I'm coming back tonight. I'm just being honest with you, okay? Let's go. Let me show you this, okay? I'm not coming back tonight. There's 2 parts. Go watch it all over again if you need to watch this all over again. There's a lot of lessons in this. Number 1 is that there's nothing wrong with preferences. You can have your preference. That's why there's preferences. Number 2, don't they do shalaye? Slow down with mansplaining, over explaining yourself. If you already feel some type of way, it's probably the wrong moment to explain yourself. You're probably going to do a terrible job explaining yourself because the people you're explaining yourself to, they already made up their mind. Okay, they're not going to take it anyway, and you're going to misyan. You're going to say all the wrong things anyway. Let me see what the comment says. It's going to be interesting. Let me make it a little bigger so you can read it too. Oh, these people, man. Let me make it bigger. This was one hell of a conversation, and it was a much needed conversation. If you can get out of your feelings enough, you will get the message. Great job to everybody involved. Okay. She's a good lawyer. She effectively changed the narrative from I'm too good for the average man because of my income, which is just fine. I changed my mind just yet. Which is just fine to I'm trying to uplift black people from mediocrity. The issue is that there is a cost to success, a cost that is not worth it for many. If you're a woman that wants a relationship with a man, that cost is more than doubled. So if you choose that path, make sure the grind is your reward, because the grind, yeah, I wouldn't say it all blanket like that. It just depends. It depends on so many things. What's up, babe? Yeah, I did say I was coming. No, I'm not coming back tonight. I won't. All right, stop shaming people doing 9 to 5. Not everyone is called to be an entrepreneur. Fact. No, I'm not coming back tonight just yet. Let me read a few more comments. I got 2 more minutes. I've exhausted it on Eboni K. I think there were some good lessons. We can let that soak in tonight. Okay. As a matter of fact, I have another live stream on my other channel. I'm gonna, because I have some things I'm working on that I need to keep working on too. Remember today I told you earlier, I'm in a mode where I want to stay focused on the things I want to do, and the things I want to do are productive anyway. So I just don't want to do things I don't want to do today. I wanted to talk about this and I did. 2 streams, right? This conversation should have a part 2. It was so nuanced that needs a part 2. I agree. We've done 3 parts already. The conversation began with her thinking that she was going to have the floor completely to talk circles around everyone. Yeah, she did think that. She seemed like she thought that, right? I'm very proud of Envy for challenging her, and to Charlotte for acting as a mediator. That's a good one. Yep, I think that was good too. Now, this is the Breakfast Club I've grown to love over the last decade. Great back and forth and without being disrespectful. Well, the only smell of disrespect will come from her, but I guess she was able to hide under the intellectually dishonest thing. Anytime someone says I'm being intellectually dishonest, I hate to say it this way, usually they're just lame. They're stuck on dictionary meanings. That's what it is usually, or they will even claim it's the truth that they're saying. Oftentimes. So it's almost like, you know what? You're right. I'm playing stupid. Let's end the conversation. You know, at best, we're talking from two different worlds, right? Never let anyone make you feel bad about the standards you set for yourself. That's precisely what happened. If you want a basic person, then that's your choice. If you're offended that someone else doesn't, it's because of your insecurities. She did let them make her feel bad. And somebody said, and that's the end of the conversation. Anyway, let me just end it right there. Let's end it right there. I told you I was going to finish exactly 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I want to say shout out to everybody that came here today. Not to just Jay, Chinye, Deb, good to see you. Bumi, Adebusola, I saw you earlier. Shout out to Per, I think Per from Facebook. Shout out to everybody. Gracious Greatness, you know. We have a lot of work to do. Okay? We have lots of work to do. So let's keep up sharing. Okay? We have a lot of work to do. The honest truth is that I'll keep that to myself. Okay? No they do alaye, no they do shalaye. Hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Me love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.